Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Marissa Monroy. We may have just wrapped up a presidential election, but Austin voters will have more big political decisions ahead of them in the upcoming May election. On the ballot, 8 propositions, including a strong mayor-council charter amendment and the option to reinstate the city's public camping ban. Take a look. Proposition A would give the Austin Firefighters Association the ability to require the city participate in arbitration when it comes to disputes with the association. Proposition B would reinstate Austin's public camping ban. Proposition C would allow City Council to provide for a director of police oversight. A vote for Proposition D would change mayoral elections from gubernatorial election years to presidential election years. Proposition E would create ranked choice voting for city elections, once allowed by the state. Proposition F would change the city's form of government from the current council manager to strong mayor-council, eliminating the role of city manager and designating the mayor as chief administrative and executive officer of the city with veto power over all legislation. Proposition G would add an 11th council district. Proposition H would allow for the adoption of a public campaign finance program requiring the city clerk to provide up to 2 $25 vouchers to every registered voter who can choose to contribute them to candidates running for city office. Elections take place on May 1st. Look for all of the latest information on austintexas.gov. City and county health leaders announced our community is back at stage 4 of COVID-19 risk guidelines. But that doesn't mean we should let our guards down. Masking, social distancing, and hand washing remain critical to further reduce our virus positivity rate. Vaccine distribution for Phase 1B individuals continues. Last week, Austin Public Health began administering second-dose vaccines. Austin Public Health is only providing second-dose vaccines to people who received their first vaccine through Austin Public Health. If you received your first vaccine through Austin Public Health, expect a call to set up your second appointment about 4 weeks after you received the first vaccine. Austin Public Health has a new vaccine distribution dashboard as well. The dashboard will be updated weekly and includes the total number of Austin Public Health administered doses, organized by priority group, zip code, race, ethnicity, and other subcategories. All this are VaxFacts updates and more. It's at austintexas.gov/COVID-19-vaccines. The City of Austin Saves Fund is now extending COVID-19 relief dollars to local businesses that have called Austin home for 20 years or longer. The Austin Legacy Business Relief Grant will help ensure the long-term survivability for our Austin's legacy businesses impacted by the pandemic. A total of $5 million in financial assistance will be provided to eligible local businesses experiencing reduced operations since March 2020. Phase 1 applications for a $20,000 grant are open now through March 10th at 5 p.m. To learn more about the grant eligibility requirements, visit atxrecovers.com. Beginning this month, people calling Austin 911 operators will have another option for services besides police, fire, and EMS. They'll be able to request mental health services. If a caller says they need mental health services, 911 will initiate an immediate transfer to an on-site mental health clinician. This approach will allow 911 operators to quickly divert non-police related calls that do not involve a risk to the public or to the caller's safety, and send those calls directly to the most appropriate resources available. Austin will be among one of the first cities in the country to feature this change. This fourth option for callers will determine what the best outcome is for that individual in their moment of crisis. That's it for this week's City View. Thank you for watching, Austin. Be sure to catch up on all of the latest information on atxn.tv, our social media channels, and on our dedicated webpage, austintexas.gov/COVID-19. Stay well, Austin.